What is a double standard that really bothers you? Parenting expectations. My wife died when my kids were 11 months and 2 years old. When I took the kids to the grocery store, without fail I'd get comments like, "Oh, dad is day out." Breaking point for me was taking them out to eat. I sat there for 20 minutes after being seated, and finally the server came back to the table and goes, "Did you want to try ordering for the kids, or are we still waiting for mom?" I straight up said to her, "Well, we'd be waiting a long time because she's dead. I don't need to try, I can order just fine." Being told it is okay to ask questions and being treated like an inconvenience when you do. I hate this so much. That annoyed person almost always being a boss or university professor. The professors especially pissed me off back when I was in university. Every first day of a new class, while going over the course syllabus, the profs would always say to never be afraid to ask questions, as he/she will be happy to accept and answer questions at any time with open arms. Yay. Bullsh. Sending them an email with questions would always go unanswered. And if you find them in their offices, they always act like they are being inconvenienced just by your presence alone. Hell, even you went to their office during their designated office hours, which was always around 1 hour a week. WTF is that about? Again, same response. Well, look here, B. My ridiculous tuition is paying a good chunk of your salary, so I expect you to treat me with respect and be there to educate me and be available within reason to answer my questions when I need it. I grew raised in a country that does not encourage the use of personal vehicles. There is a lot of public transportation available. As a result, I have very little mechanical expertise. My white girlfriend, who grew up in the country and whose father is a mechanic, has spent her entire life tinkering with automobiles. When we go to an auto parts store to get something, the salespeople never say anything to her. Even if they ask me a question and she answers, they continue to talk to me as if she doesn't exist. It's unbelievable. They don't seem to notice her. She's gone to job interviews for mechanical jobs, where the interviewer asks her extremely simple and dismissive questions because they don't believe she can understand what they're asking. Men don't get abused. My ex-wife used to beat the hell out of me. My skin doesn't bruise easily, so most of the time she didn't leave a mark. She would throw her elbow into my ribs because I was snoring. One time she cracked 2 of them, and I had to go to the ER because it hurt to breath. When we got there, she freaked out because she thought I was going to have her arrested. The nurse asked her to step out, and she asked me if my wife was hurting me based on the x-ray. When I told her what happened, she acted like she was appalled. 20 minutes later, the charge nurse came in and said, laughing, that I should stop snoring so much then I might not get my ribs cracked. Tracked down my original nurse and asked what happened, and she said that because I was a man and there was no place for me to go, the ER just ignored men who came in that were being abused. Playing a video game in the evening is considered a bad habit and bad for you, yet the same people who say that spend every minute home either watching TV or on their phone. If I'm with my kids without the missus around, people ask if I'm babysitting. No B, they are my kids. I'm parenting. I'm still in awe over the double standard with which people treat the credibility of information. If it confirms their worldview, they are happy to accept extraordinary information from parties and blogs, tabloids, and columnists with no further confirmation. But if it challenges their worldview, good luck convincing them of anything. I argued with a dude who decided to trust the Washington Examiner's outright lie about the ICE bank reporting proposal. I gave him a link to the actual proposal, published on the Treasurer's website, pointed him to the exact page that details the proposal, and he still dismissed the information as partisan deceit. This one baffles me as well. Had my friend's girlfriend send me an article with some nonsense clickbait title, and in the article itself, it admitted that their title was only true on a technicality, and if they were being truthful, the title wouldn't have been nearly as outrageous. I point this out to her, and she refuses to acknowledge it, and continues to act as if the article wasn't total BS, and she hadn't just proved my point for me. Absolutely mind-boggling. Learning how to do girls' hair. Around my area a man would be called gay by doing girls' hair. I wanna learn and get better at doing my 5-year-old daughter's hair. Nothing extreme, just the regular nice stuff I guess. Braids, ponytails and other cool stuff like that. Men around here only do men's hair. but women can do both men's and women's hair. You are not allowed to be emotional or show emotions, but you should do it. Companies doing so for people to not litter and recycle their products when they themselves are producing products that mostly cannot be properly recycled and end up in landfills anyway. Bonus points for taxes we pay for recycling programs in our cities. Why can't I, a male in my 20s, be a babysitter? I love kids, and I'm great with them, but exactly 0 people take me seriously, no replies back to public ads, and 0 friends consider it anything more than a joke of an offer. A double standard that affects me constantly is it's socially acceptable to ask people why are you so skinny, but it's totally unacceptable and inappropriate to ask people why are you so fat. I myself as a male am called skinny and have been called anorexic. Unknown to people there are reasons I'm the size I'm due to medical issues. I've had times where people who were fairly overweight would ask me, man you're so skinny, and I constantly think in my head what would happen if I said, man you're so fat. Snitches get stitches mentality never made sense to me in school. Like, you can bully me, verbally abuse me, steal my stuff and hit me. People are okay with that, but if I drop someone in it and they get in trouble for their own actions, somehow that is worse. Why should I let someone be an a-hole to me? That a man can't be at a park with young children without being creepy. I had my niece and nephew, they are a little darker than me and have curly hair because of their dad. My sister and I are of a lighter complexion and have straight hair. This lady had the audacity to ask them if they were okay and needed help to get away from me. They told them I was their mom's brother. Lady didn't believe them and called the cops. Luckily the cop that came knew my brother-in-law and said I was free to go. That sexual assault can't happen to a guy, and if it does, that they are just supposed to tolerate that that makes my blood boil. As a victim of sexual harassment and assault, I'm not trying to get pity. It infuriates me how men are told to just deal with it. Stop being such a PSY or just fight back. How do you let a girl do that to you? Like, huh? Nobody should ever have to experience getting touched without their consent, man or woman. In the US, you're required by law when you turn 18 to sign up for selective service, because according to the government, you're considered an adult who can be drafted into the military at a time of war if needed, but you're not allowed to purchase or consume alcoholic beverages until you're 21, because you're too young otherwise. So at 18 I can legally be forced to go overseas and partake in combat, where I can get my arms and legs blown off, or end up with severe PTSD for life or even killed point. But God forbid I want to enjoy a cold beer after work. Yup, that makes a lot of effing sense. How if a young boy sleeps with an older woman it's an accomplishment and people celebrate the young boy, but if it's the other way around the guy is punished 99% of the time and death is wished to him. It should be equally as bad and taken equally as serious. On TV, if a woman abuses a man or stalks them, it's usually followed by a laugh track or is generally seen as comedic, but if the shoe was on the other foot, people would be up in arms. Now before anyone downvotes me, I'm not saying that men hitting women on TV should be seen as funny. I'm saying that neither should. Abuse isn't funny, no matter which gender it is. Female circumcision is illegal in all developed countries, as it should be, but half of America and 25% of Canada still supports mutilating boys. Even though most of the world's men are intact, there isn't a single country where it's illegal to mutilate boys. Both are wrong and both should be illegal. I don't give a sh about religious freedoms either, because children aren't property and your religious freedoms end with yourself.